Pick your season or occupation. It's time to send in your application.
Sorry, I couldn't be bothered to change out of my pajamas because it's really cold today. So I'm wearing my hoodie, so sorry, but I want to be comfy. Right, everybody. This is a big one, I fear. Oh my god, my hood keeps falling down. Hello. Okay, we're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. So, my hood keeps falling down. Anyway, everybody. So, today we are going to be talking about the night that Alison dilaurentis disappeared. Yeah. This night, she truly did a world tour. She announced her album. The album sold multiple millions of units, and she decided, I'm going to go on a world tour in one single night. So I thought we would break it down together. We talk about what happened, because a lot happened. A lot went down that night. So I put together a little timeline. This isn't everything, because there's a reverse of this. There's a back to this. Yeah. I'm sorry about the lighting. There's a lot of shadowness going on, but it's the best I can do. Really sorry. We're going to break this down. Yeah. Because a lot happened. It was like a whole movie in like one night. And like, it's funny because like there's still like gaps in the night that we like know, but not really. But anyway, I thought we'd break it down. I thought we'd talk about the nights. Because a lot happens. Okay. So everybody get seated, get buckled in, get a drink, get a snack, put your pajamas on. Just got back from work. Yeah, sit down, relax. Anyway. Right, everybody. I had to make notes on this, so I'm using notes on my phone because it was like an essay. It was like an essay putting this together. I felt like I was back in school. I had to give references to my essay. It was a lot. It was a lot of work. Anyway, guys, I've started off this little timeline with the summer that she went missing. What did she do during this summer? Because it was arguably her last. Not really, because she's actually alive, but whatever. First of all, she kind of spent a period of the summer with the liars. That's when the whole Jenna thing happened. And I don't know if you remember, but Noel had a party where like this girl fell down the stairs. That also happened in the summer before her disappearance. She then went to Camp May, which she spent with her family, with Cece, and with Wilden. This man here, I don't know if you can see, but I've called him a creep because he is a bit of a creep. Grown man who is a police officer spending his summer with a teenage girl. Anyway, then she spent the last bit of her summer in Hilton Head with Ian, who was Melissa's boyfriend, Spencer's little fling, and also had a thing with Alison. Now, this guy is a major creep and arguably should be in jail, along with another character which we will speak upon a bit later. Anyway, so this man should be in jail because he's now had a fling with two teenagers, Alison and Spencer. Arguably, the Spencer thing doesn't happen until a bit later on. But actually, it kind of happens at the same time. I'm wrong. Let me take that back because I'm wrong. It kind of happens at the same time. So this man should 100 million% be in jail because he is trying to have a fling with children, teenagers. Oh, he's not on here yet. He will be. Actually, he comes back a bit later on. Nonetheless, the man should be in jail. I've also put here, she's on her Holly Bob's era, because this was her holiday. She was having a little holiday, you know, just on her Holly Bob's, having a little break, having a little venture out. Yes, with some illegal action in there, but she was having her holiday. Peaceful teenage girl, which she was not, was having her holiday. So she comes back from Hilton Head, and she actually told the liars that she went to see her grandma in, I forgot, Georgia. She went to spend the summer with her grandma in Georgia. She told the girls that, but she was actually in Hilton Head with Ian. So when she comes back, Spencer's a bit suspicious because Alison has a tan. And Spencer's like, hold on a minute. If you were in Georgia, where are you getting this tan from? Do you know what I mean? I don't know what weather-wise is in America. I'm really sorry. We only know one weather in the UK. So anyway, moving on. Sorry. She comes back and Spencer's immediately like, well, do you know what I mean? Alison comes back and they talk about the sleepover that they're going to have in the barn a bit later on, which is where like everything kind of goes down. But this might be the most iconic outfit on Pretty Little Liars. I fear that just nothing is doing it like this fashion statement was doing it, because Alison then goes back to the dilaurentis house and she finds this yellow top that Mrs. dilaurentis, her mum, brought for her. Now this yellow top, remember this yellow top, because Grammy worthy, absolutely. Oscar worthy, absolutely. I don't know anything else. Tony Award winning, whatever. This yellow top is that. And she will forever go down in the history books, not even of just Pretty Little Liars, of TV history. And this yellow top was cinema. She finds this yellow top, right? And I've put her, it's a sleigh. Do I think it's a sleigh? No. Would I buy it myself? No. The impact this yellow top has on the show is a sleigh and will always be remembered as a sleigh. Moving on. So during this time that she's in the dilaurentis house, she gets dressed and she puts on this yellow top, like I said, iconic. Anyway, she then turns around and she sees a message on her mirror written in red lipstick from A. And the message from A says, "I'm everywhere, soon you'll be nowhere." Gag. Then she goes to Emily's house, and at this time there's a bit of flirtation from Alison towards Emily. Emily's not out yet and she's kind of hiding her sexuality a little bit, so Emily is a bit more like hesitant to like accept this flirtation. Nonetheless, there's a bit of flirtation. Alison gives Emily a snow globe. Now, you might be wondering, snow globe? That's boring. I've lost my train of thought, guys. This is not good for me. Alison tells Emily this is a family heirloom from her grandmother, but she wants Emily to keep it, basically. However, in the snow globe, Emily doesn't know at this point, there is a USB stick with all of the videos that the NAT club has. The NAT club was filled with multiple members, which we'll get onto in a bit later. And they would film videos of the girls, basically. Really, really weird, actually. Not much fuss was made about this during the show. Like, at the start, it was like, oh my god, NAT club, what the hell? But then the NAT club kind of got dropped a bit early on, and like no one really batted an eyelid ever again. But anyway, this bit is very important. I didn't put it on the board. Did I? No, I did. Big fat liar I am. So this is important. This is very important, right? So before she went missing, we are told that Cece and Bethany Young have escaped Radley. Now, I've put here Radley security ? Where is the security in this mental institution? There's multiple times multiple people escape Radley. Now, I don't know if it's just me, right? A mental institution would have probably triple security. Now, I might be wrong. But I think a mental institution may be full of murderers, kidnappers, whoever. Would you not have extra security? Let me think about it. Like, I'm sorry. Anyway, so we're also told Bethany stole Cece's clothes. Now, this is important because Jessica would buy Alison and Cece the same clothes. So when she brought Alison clothes, she would then go and buy Cece clothes as well to help with her transition and everything. We are told that Bethany stole Cece's clothes, so she now has the iconic yellow top that Miss Alison dilaurentis is also wearing. Bethany's mission was to kind of confront Jessica dilaurentis because Jessica was having an affair with Bethany's dad. This is why the whole Bethany thing just like annoys me so much, because like Bethany is so important to the show, yet like the end and like how they resolve the whole Bethany thing is like a massive joke. Anyway, that's a whole nother point. So yeah, Bethany wants to get back at Jessica because she was having an affair with Bethany's dad. Okay, Jessica is a bit flabbergasted. She's blown away. She's shaking. She's throwing up. She's scared, and she warns Alison not to beware of Bethany. She doesn't mention Bethany, but she kind of warns her. She's like, do you have to go to the sleepover today? Like, you could go another day, because she's scared that Bethany could be getting back at Jessica by maybe potentially targeting her children. She doesn't actually mention to Alison that Bethany or Cece escaped Radley. I don't think Alison knows at this point. Alison was in Radley, so she wouldn't have known anyway. So Alison's like, okay, I won't go, whatever. But then she does actually sneak out of the house, and she sneaks out of the house and she steals some sleeping tablets. Why will she need the sleeping tablets? Don't worry, we'll get right onto that. Sleepover is underway. This is the scene that we are given at the very start of the show. Alison tries to scare the girls. They're all having fun, having a blast, whatever. Now at this point, Alison wants to eliminate A suspects from her list of people, because she's being blackmailed by A at this point. Obviously, we know that this was Mona, but Alison didn't know who this was. So she wanted to eliminate suspects from her list. And on her list was the girls. So in the drinks that the girls were drinking, Alison planted the sleeping tablets so that the girls would fall asleep and she could eliminate them from her A suspect list. Then we've got another character involved. So yeah, Toby gives Alison a call and wants to meet up, because at this point Alison kind of got Jenna to back away from Toby a bit, and Toby was really thankful and wanted to thank her for it because he felt more free. So he just wanted to meet up with her and tell her how he felt. Now this is kind of key. Do I have the picture on here? No, I don't. Toby gives Alison his jacket because she said she was cold. That's kind of important.
Hi guys, I'm currently editing this video and I realised I did not come back to this point. So me trying to gaslight you all, being like, this is so important, and like not coming back to it is so funny. But basically this is important because during the investigation into what happened to Alison, they find Toby's like jumper sweater thing with Alison's blood on it, and they think Toby killed Alison because of this. She gets the blood on it from her altercation with Ian, which I'm about to explain. I'm pretty sure, could be wrong on that. But yeah, sorry, I did not come back to it. I'm a big fat liar. Okay, I'm going now. Enjoy.
Toby then says he saw Alison get into a car with an unknown man. Now, we find out that this unknown man is actually, don't know if you can see down here. What's my finger doing? Ezra. So, I just want to reiterate some things that I've written on this timeline. Toby, she's still in the yellow top at this point. How many people? Because it's getting out of hand. With Ezra, I've drawn an arrow and I said he should be in prison. I've also drawn it to connect Ian as well, because these men should be in prison, and I stand by that. Sorry. So yeah, she meets up with Ezra. Now Ezra, he's fuming. He's mega fuming because Alison lied about her age, and Ezra fell for it, and they kind of had a thing. So he knows at this point, oh, I'm in trouble. I should be in jail. Doesn't go in jail. Actually has a happy ending, which whatever. So he thought Alison was 21 years old, but she's actually like 15. So he's fuming. He is like, what the? Like, I'm going to go to jail. They kind of argue about that for a little bit. He is just Ezra. He's just annoying. Alison says to him, if you write that book about me that you're saying you're going to write, make sure you spell my last name correctly. And like, okay, that was like, she kind of did that. Like, that was like, okay. Like, get it. Like, get him and get it. Like, you know, like, that was like kind of like a moment. Anyway, we know that Ezra does end up writing the book, or he tries to write it anyway, which leads on to his ultimate should be in jail era, but we got to move on because that's a different video. Then Alison goes to meet Ian at the Kissing Rock. And like I said, this man should also be in jail. Alison threatens Ian with the NAT videos, and she's like, I'm gonna go to the police, yeah, if you don't tell them to leave me alone. Because she is so desperate to get rid of A. She doesn't care who A is. She will threaten everybody. And like, I get it. Like, that was like kind of like, okay, guys, I'm getting really bad deja vu at the moment. She threatens Ian, and they get into a bit of a heated argument. So Ian tries to deflect, and he's like, I didn't do anything wrong with the whole NAT thing, which like he did. Don't know what he's talking about there. He said that even her own family can get in trouble with these NAT videos because Jason was also part of the NAT club. I actually really like Jason. Do you know what? I will support women's rights and wrongdoings, okay? So Jason, no, I can't support Jason, I'm sorry, but I really liked him. She tells Ian, look, tell them to leave me alone, right? Because she's like, one of them has to be A. It's gotta be, it's either the girls or it's either the NAT club, right? It's not, but she, you know, you got to respect the hustle. Do you know what I mean? Alison then goes back to the barn. Oh, I've also called him a menace because he is a menace to society. This is the people in the NAT club, by the way. We have Ian, Jason, Garrett, Jenna, and Melissa. I've put a question mark. You can't see, but I put a question mark because I still don't really understand the NAT club, if I'm being honest. But it is what it is. I'm now going to turn because we have another side. Oh my god, there's so much here. Alison goes back to the barn and all of the girls are still asleep. However, one of them is not. And who is that, everybody? Spencer Hastings. Yeah. So Spencer and Alison end up going into Spencer's house and they have like a massive argument. Like screaming at each other. Okay, not screaming. Maybe I'm being a bit dramatic. But they were like going for each other. I won't lie. Like, they were going for it. They argue about Spencer and Ian's affair because Alison wants Spencer to tell Melissa about the affair and to stop the affair as well. But Spencer like doesn't want to. And they don't. Spencer doesn't know at this point that Alison and Ian are having a thing. So that's why Alison also wanted to stop the affair because her and Ian were a thing. But Spencer doesn't know that at this point. Alison then puts on this like superiority complex where she tells Spencer that she kind of made her and the girls wouldn't be anything without Alison. Now, Spencer has a bit of a comeback here and she did her thing and she didn't flop. Hold on, I gotta get this right. So she says, what is a leader without followers? It's not if we could be without you, it's if you could be without us. Spencer, that's Oscar worthy winning that. And then Spencer shouts at Alison that she wishes that she was dead. And this is a whole thing later on in the show because Spencer's taking medication, which we'll find out in a literally the next part of the story. And she kind of blanks out, and during like season 2 she's like, did I kill Alison? Because she can't remember, and she remembers having a fight with Alison and that she disappeared, but she doesn't remember what happened past that. So Alison leaves the house after the argument, but Spencer follows her carrying a shovel. Alison says that we're done here, but Spencer's like, no way, not having it. So she has this shovel and she's kind of like threatening her. And then Alison's like, calm down, girl. Relax. Is it that deep? So Spencer tries to attack Alison, but a bottle of pills falls out of Spencer's pocket, I think it is. And they find out that Spencer's taking Adderall. Adderall? I don't know what that is. I don't know if we have that in the UK. But whatever that is, I don't know what it is. I'm really sorry. Should I Google it? This is kind of a bit of a shock because Alison kind of responds to these pills in quite a nice way. And she tells Spencer she's not going to tell her parents. Everything's going to be fine. And that she should go back to the barn and just sleep everything off. And then Spencer walks away. And this is when Melissa comes into the picture, because Melissa sees Spencer walking away with a shovel. So Melissa then comes to the conclusion she thinks that Spencer has killed Alison. And I think she believes that Spencer killed Alison for like the majority of like the first 2 seasons. Jenna, Garrett and Ian arguing in Alison's bedroom. First of all, how are you getting into Alison's bedroom? Mrs. dilaurentis, are you not on security watch? 2 people just escaped a mental institution. Anyway, this is like an NAT club meeting, right? Jason is passed out because during this time he was taking drugs and alcohol. So he's not really in it at this point. And there's a scene later on with Jason which is still a bit more confusing. But anyway, so they're arguing because Alison has the pictures at the NAT club video, sorry. And they're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do now? So then Melissa like goes into the room, rolls in. She's like, where's Alison? Which is confusing because she just heard Alison and Spencer talking to each other. Garrett and Jenna, they're a thing at this point. I think they are anyways. Anyway, they leave and they're like, right, we're going to just let Ian and Spencer... we're going to let Ian and Melissa, just talk about it. We're just going to leave this situation and whatever. So then they bump into Alison. Alison is very provoking of Jenna. She provokes Jenna quite a lot and kind of threatens her. So Garrett, being Garrett, protective, whatever, he decides, you know what? I'm not having this. Yeah. So shut up. You're doing a lot of talking. Right. Jenna goes to attack Alison, but then it kind of fails because she's blind at this point, so she can't obviously see. So then Garrett attacks Alison. So Garrett picked up a hockey stick and kind of made contact with Alison, and like they both nodded at each other, and Alison told him to be quiet. So Jenna thinks that Garrett killed Alison because obviously she's blind, she can't see. So she's heard Garrett lunge for Alison, and then suddenly Alison is silent and like she's kind of thudded to the ground at this point. She sat on the ground. So for up to season 2, Jenna thinks that Garrett killed Alison all along, but he didn't. Then we've got another character introduced to the story because Garrett and Jenna go off, but then Garrett later comes back to kind of check on Alison and make sure she's okay. But he finds her talking to Byron. What are you doing here? Everybody's getting involved. So what's going on? Now I've put here, Ariana, what are you doing here?
Ariana, what are you doing here?
Because what's he doing here? What's going on here? The whole cast is getting involved. Byron and Alison are arguing. What on earth is going on in the House of Commons? Like, this is a lot. This is just getting out of hands now. It's like, the cast wanted the paycheck this night. They were like, you know what? Write me in that story. I want to be there. Byron and Alison... Why did I say it like that? Alison are arguing because Alison knows about... What's going on with my hair? Alison knows about Byron's affair with Meredith and she's blackmailing him for money, basically. Now, Byron, when Alison died must have thought this was like a national bank holiday, because he didn't have to tell anyone about the affair because she had died. And the only other person who knew about it was Arya. And Arya didn't tell about the affair until like a year or so later. So he must have been like, wow, this is easy. This is easy stuff. As Byron is leaving, he sees Melissa. And Melissa is on the phone. Melissa is on the phone and she says, do I have to call 911 to get your attention or something like that? Now, we don't actually find out who she was calling, why she was calling this person. So I don't know who it is. I'm sorry. I've tried to rack my brains, guys. Marlene King, what's going on? Do you know what I mean? So that's a whole nother thing. Because also there's this scene right now where Jason leaves the dilaurentis house. He's on drugs and alcohol at this point. So you kind of have to take this scene with like a pinch of salt, because we don't know if this actually happened, but apparently he saw Melissa and Cece talking. Now, we don't know. I don't know what to say, guys, because we don't know. We don't know if this is a true thing or not. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't have anything. I'm sorry. Cece then says at this point, Alison called her in like quite a distress about the NAT club and the NAT videos. So it would make sense if them two were talking about the NAT stuff, but I don't know. Like, I genuinely, I don't know. This is where it gets good, everybody. This is where it gets good. Alison goes back to the barn, right? And all the girls are asleep and she's got no texts from A. So she thinks at this point she's won. That's it. A's gone. I'm free. Do you know what I mean? However, this is where it gets good, everybody. She then goes back to the dilaurentis house. And Mrs. dilaurentis is in like the window of the house. She's staring at Alison. However, she looks behind Alison and she's scared. She's like, what's going on? Cece hits Alison over the head with a rock. And Cece doesn't know that this is Alison, and Cece thinks this is Bethany. So she's trying to kill Bethany to protect Jessica, and they also just don't like each other. Because bear in mind, Bethany and Alison are wearing the exact same outfit, and they have the blonde hair, and Bethany was after Jessica. So that's why they'd be having like a stare off at the window. So when Cece finds out that this is actually Alison, she's flabbergasted. She's like, what have I done? Oh my God, what have I done? At this point, Cece thinks that Alison is her sister. So she's like, uh-oh. Now, I've put here on a little piece of paper, who is selling this yellow top? Because everybody in Rosewood was wearing it. Because apparently Cece was wearing it here. Alison was wearing it. And Bethany was wearing it. So I just like to know who's buying this top. Because there must be a massive distribution of it in Rosewood. Jessica then buries Alison because Cece is her child and she doesn't want Cece to get in trouble for it. Cece's not actually her child, but we don't find that out until later. Anyway, so she's trying to protect Cece. So Jessica actually buries Alison in like their backyard. And then Jessica calls Wilden. This is when Wilden gets involved. And this is a massive plot hole and does not make sense. Jessica calls Wilden and he's like, get over here, I need your help. And Wilden takes Cece back to Radley, and Jessica kind of begs him not to say anything about what happened and kind of pays him off a little bit. Now, this doesn't make sense because Wilden, throughout his time on the show and from the very start of the show, he was so determined to find out what happened to Alison the night she disappeared. But you know what happened. Like, you were there and you were asked to cover it up. So, do you know where I'm just a bit confused? I've also called him a creep. I don't know if you can see here. I've told him to get a job. Now,
I know he has a job and he's a police officer, but I mean, get a job, get a life, get a job. Like, this is, what are you doing in this story? Do you know what? Like, no need for you to be in this story. Get out. So, however, we see that Alison is actually alive. Yeah. And there's this scene where she like digs her hand out of like the grave that she was buried in. And for some reason, Mrs. Grunwald, this girly pop here, Miss Grunwald, for some reason decided to appear in the story. I don't know where she came from, but I know where she came. But like, why are you here? And why are you here the exact moment that Alison is like digging herself out of her grave? Now, there's supposed to be this whole thing about Miss Grunwald, like she's like mythical and mysterious and whatever. But like, be serious and be for real for one moment, because Girly Pop just appears. And she pulls Alison out of the grave that she's trying to get herself out of. So she's not dead, she's unconscious. Now, not to be a doctor, you know, I do watch a bit of Grey's Anatomy, you know. Did Jessica not think to check if Alison was really dead? Give her a pulse check. Oh, she's alive. Like, it might just be me. Maybe I'm just thinking logically. But would you not just double check? Because you would see that Alison is still breathing. Anyway, this is when we need to talk about Bethany. Bethany, obviously wearing the same thing as Alison that night. And Bethany was the original girl that died where Alison was also buried. Once Alison is out of this grave, she goes off with Miss Grunwald. And Bethany goes to the dilaurentis house to look for Jessica as originally planned. Now, Mona, who is A at this point, thinks that Bethany was Alison. So she hits Alison and... hits Bethany. Sorry. Even I'm confused. Mona, I get you. Not really. I'm just joking. She hits Bethany over the head. I think over the head with the shovel. I think. And then leaves her to be. Mona goes off. Now, Melissa, like I said from earlier, she witnessed Spencer and Alison having a bit of an argument. And she comes across Bethany's body with the shovel next to it. And obviously, Melissa saw Spencer with the shovel. So she's like, oh my God, Spencer, what have you done? Spencer's killed Alison. Now, not to speak logically or anything, but would you not check the face of the person? I just think, I know that they were wearing the same thing. Easy mistake to make. Not really, but anyway. Would you not check, double, triple, quadruple check? And like, you would see their face as your... Because, okay, Melissa buries Bethany. However, Bethany was alive at this point, I believe. So Bethany then actually died of suffocation because she was buried in what Alison was buried in by Melissa. So Melissa ended up killing Bethany. I just like, would you not see the person's face as you're burying them? Like, and would you not check that they're actually dead and like not still maybe potentially alive? That's just my thinking. Maybe I'm just thinking a bit too logically, and that's fine. But I just, like, would you not check? I just don't get it. The whole Bethany thing confused me because I don't really still know who Bethany is. Like, I know who Bethany is, but like, I don't know who she is. And like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Anyway, Alison ends up running away from Miss Grunwald. I don't really know why, because she was helping her, but nonetheless. And Mona is driving along, and Mona finds Alison. Alison's quite in a lot of shock. She probably has concussion. She's like, what's going on? If I was Mona here, you know what, I'm not even going to think about it. I'm not going to think about it because the writers didn't think about it, so I'm not going to think about it. Nonetheless, we're on a writer's strike. Girl, the strike.
Yeah. Alison asks Mona to take her to the Lost Woods Resort, which comes up quite a lot in the show. And so Mona takes her there, and Mona kind of cares for her. Mona also encourages Alison to kind of start a new life and to get away from Rosewood, because Mona just wants Alison gone. Mona obviously at this point is so she just wants her gone. So she's like, go and just live a new, completely different life. So Alison goes to sleep, and we see in the next room, Mona is in her A lair. Now, it's not the A lair that we discover at the end of season 2, but it's like starting to take place, and it's more surrounded by just Alison herself. It's just about Alison, not really about the girls, and not really about A and the identity of A. It's more just about Alison, because she wants Alison gone. Gone. So Alison then uses her Vivian Dark Bloom persona, the dark wig and stuff, and she decides to leave Rosewood. She kind of takes care of Mona quite a bit here, and she's like, you're going to be popular and I'm going to make you popular, like, thank you for helping me and stuff. And she's really thankful of Mona, because obviously at this point she does not know that Mona is in fact A. The last scene we see of Alison during the night she disappeared is her driving off with this new persona and this new life that she wants to form. So then obviously we're taken back to the night she went missing, and the liars wake up from the barn, and we are given that scene. Sorry guys, my camera just died. So I was saying, yes, we get given the scene where Spencer says that she heard a scream, and I think actually now looking back, that scream is probably Bethany. Nonetheless, that's everything, and the whole night that she went missing just seems crazy to me, because so many characters involved, so many people involved, and it's weird that there's still a few little plot holes here and there. I don't think they planned out everything down to a T, but I really enjoyed the whole mystery of like the night that she went missing, like the fact that like we were clueless, the girls were clueless. But then we got like little flashes here and there of like what potentially could have happened that night. I think is really cool. I think the iconic yellow top was such a staple for the show, and such like a, you know, like how it's like red coat and like the black hood, like it's kind of like that. It's just kind of like an iconic little thing to, you know, spice up the show a little bit. But yeah, that is everything for the night that Alison disappeared. Really hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry the timeline, like you can't really see the pictures that well. I'm really sorry. But yeah, I'd love to hear your comments down below and what you have to say surrounding everything that happened this night. But I think it's really cool to have a little deep dive into everything that happened. Yeah, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.
Pick your season of art.